Here we go, and we're live Sunday night, Tool Talk Live, with me and the boy, it's Chicken,
Yep.
and all of you on this Memorial Day weekend. How's everyone doing today? Let's see who all is in the chat here. We got Ryan's in the chat, Fry Guy's here, Ron's Schubert there, Big Gunter, Repair Your PC, Scorpion Sunday. How's it going, my man? Di Diz from Wisconsin. How you doing, Di? Michael Chesney is, of course, in the house. Linda's here. David Carlos, Tyler Henry. How you doing, Tyler? Who else we got? I think that's most. Oh, Steven showed up. Hey, Steven. How is everyone doing? I'm expecting it to be probably a smaller crowd tonight because a lot of people are hanging out, traveling, doing stuff with the family and whatnot this Memorial Day weekend. So we're going to take it kind of ease into it a little bit here. So Fry Guy says, start her off with a slap on the like button. Thank you so much, sir. Gunter says, good afternoon, evening, everyone. Scorpion Sunday's greeting from Mesa, Arizona. Michael says, greetings from a cool and dank Virginia Beach. Tyler Henry says, good evening to the den. Linda says, we're hitting 90 last week, 60s coming this week. It's supposed to be 106. I believe it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or 3 days this week. It's like Thursday's like right in the middle, I think. So it's going to be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe. It's going to be stupidly hot. Linda says, good evening, happy Memorial Day. Thank you so much. Neil F says, hey, Dan, how you doing, Neil? Glad to see you around. Charlie for Dollar says, howdy from Phoenix. We got a lot of people from the AZ in here. Linda says, the Cub's in the house. He's back from his DC adventures. You could say hi, Your mouth full? Smoked your chicken? Dad made chicken. Here, let me see the chicken real quick. It did not come out the way I wanted. I was going for a really, barbecue-style glaze, and it's not bad, but it's not exactly what I wanted. Anyway. Who's the Brillo pad next to you? You should have seen him before. He had cornrows when he got back from DC, and we took those out. That was the epic poof, wasn't it? It's kind of working its way back down now. Let's see here. Oh, where we go here? Michael says, "Hey, boss, took an inspiration from you. Learned to make Irish coffee with the Keurig machine." I hope you put the Irish in after it's coffee. I don't know how well that would work out if you did it beforehand. Unless you're doing that hack. There's a hack to take a Keurig and make a column distillery out of it. It's pretty cool. It's very small output, though, but it's pretty cool. Steven says, I have the multi-video thing going. You and the Coke 600 NASCAR race. Of course you do, Steve. We totally understand. We don't want you to miss your races. Digital Demonic 3D's in the house saying, try to justify buying pack out. Your thoughts. Well, you know what? I just had this conversation. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. The missus isn't here to waggle her antlers. You can waggle your hair. No, come on. You can speak out loud. You don't have to use your internal monologue.
Why?
Come on, wake up. Hey, wearing your UFC shirt, what do you expect? Anyway, the pack out. Well, here, so I just had this conversation with somebody, and the guy said, you should just step up and buy the pack out system because it's worth it for the money. And he's like, if you make money with it. Here's the deal. The pack out system is excellent. Okay, it is a top-notch system. It's got all the bells and whistles. They're constantly innovating with it. There's not much to not like about the pack-out system, except, of course, for the cost. If you're doing it as a pro, I can see justifying it for the price. If I was running a company, I would probably see this as probably the way to go in investing in the company. As an individual, where if you're working for yourself, I think you can get by just as good with the T-Stack, the DeWalt T-Stack, and the Craftsman VersaStack options. I've been looking at this, and there's almost as many options. There's a cooler option, there's a radio option, there's a small parts bin, there's a large parts bin, there's a crate option, there's bags that will clip on it, all sorts of stuff. I'm not saying there's as many, but it's getting within the realm of, you're not at the point of this is a necessity, you're to the point of, well, that would be cool to have. And the cost is so much cheaper. Now, of course, this guy made the argument of, well, if you wait till that one sale that they have once or twice a year when the pack-out core system goes down to $200, which is great. The same argument is everything else does that too. But when they go on sale, they're $100. They're half the price. And again, if you're doing this as a pro, can you wait the better part of a year to buy the tools you need now? I don't just say this stuff because I'm like, I don't want you to spend money, all right? I'm not getting paid by DeWalt, all right? I'm not getting paid by Craftsman. Stanley Black & Decker probably has a contract out of me, to be entirely honest. But the point is that if you do this on one thing, like you're like, okay, I'm going to spend the money. You start doing this on, Foxy says hi. Hi, Foxy. And that's, you all know who that is. Anyway, that argument then carries across the board to everything you do. And it may be nice to have top, like, oh, this is a great tool. He said, at the end of the day, you ever regret having that great tool? I'm like, yeah, when it comes to retirement time and you spend all your money on great tools and now you're eating microwave meals rather than going out to dinner with the missus in Tuscany. The bill comes due at some point. So if you want to buy it, it's a great tool system. The pack-out system is a fantastic tool system. But there are other systems out there that are almost as good for half the money. Now, if you take that money and put it into retirement, if you take it and put it in investing, if you take it, you go to the casino, that's your option. The question is it worth that much more? All right, I dwelled on that for a long time. Michael says, 106, lightweight, try 135 in the shade, much like giving artificial respiration from a toaster, even when it equates a little joist. Yeah, I totally get that, but this is May. Well, I guess by then it'll be June. Levick says, chicken looks good, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Is there more chicken?
No.
That's the last of the chicken?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to straight up murder you for that chicken.
Oh.
On live. On camera.
Shout out Eleanor. She keeps spamming my phone.
I did. I said hi to Foxy.
She's still spamming my phone.
Oh my gosh. Neil F. says, just take a quick second to honor our fallen heroes for those here in the States. God bless America. Thank you. And I've tried to do that in all the videos where we talk about it, the Memorial Day sales and stuff. It's really easy in this country to turn everything into the reason for a sale. And we forget, everyone gets hyped up about looking forward to the sales and forgets what the reason for the holiday is. And of course, for those of you who don't know, Memorial Day isn't also just for the ones who have fallen. In fact, I believe it's at noon on Memorial Day weekend, you're supposed to start the day off with your flags at half staff. And at noon, you're supposed to raise them in tribute to those who still serve. Anyway, the Foxy says hola again. Wohawk says, Duncan, settle down. You look way too excited. I know. He gets really eager, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Steven says, I watched the Indy 500 earlier.
Who won?
I have no idea. I will say this. Circle tracks and oval tracks are not my thing. But I worked concessions at the Indy as a volunteer one year. And I got to go and stand with my face right up against the fence as the cars went past. And the feeling of power coming off of it is insane. Jesse says, hello, family. Oh, hold on. I got to block this person. Just a second. I hate trolls like that.
Stop trying to dox us, lady.
The stalker. Michael says, machine stock made 6 ounces of hot coffee in a thermal cup, used a commercial creamer, and measured ounces of Maker's Mark. Very nice. That should be Irish. That should be like Kentucky coffee is what we should call that. You should make a shirt that says that. You can sell that. I'll take a Kentucky coffee. Dan Laughlin says, starting a new business. Well, hold on here. The starting a new business. Did I miss? Was there other context with that? Did I miss something? Well, good luck with it, man. Starting a new business is a scary thing, but it's exciting. But if you're not scared, then you're not taking it seriously enough. But anyway, best of luck. Starting businesses and running businesses is what I've tried to do for most of my adult life, and it's always where I've been happiest. Michael says, topped with ice, worked well, cheaper than the bar around the corner. Yeah, that's for sure. Wohawk says, I trash picked a pack out tool bag. It holds my Black & Decker 20 volt tools great. See, now that's a good buy right there. Hiram, hey Hiram, says I finally created and uploaded the step stool scaffolding video. You only need milk crates, nylon zip ties, and a pine board, and yes, I think it's definitely worth the money. That sounds awesome.
Couldn't you make your own pack-out system with like milk crates, zip ties, one of those ladders?
What do you think people did for years?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the other thing. When people say, well, you have to have this if you're a pro. I'm like, somehow for the last 100 years, people did it without it. Oh my gosh.
How do you know they were getting paid?
That's true. They were probably faking it.
Mm-hmm.
Michael says, what happens if someone has to bring all that stuff through TSA or some overseas customs kiosk? We scared the daylights out of a Brazilian officer with a 4-inch Greenlee hole punch. Speaking of which, I got a call by the FDA today. Or actually, no, it wasn't the FDA. It was Customs. Customs called me. And so you remember that video I did on the 3D printers, the XYZ machines? So far, because of that video, Elegoo sent me their Mars 3D printer. Anycubic has sent me their FDM printer. I don't have it yet. They're saying they're sending it. The one company where I said I didn't know if it was worth it, it was the $400 laser, but a bunch of you commented like, oh, it's totally worth it. They reached out to me and they said, we think you'll think it's worth it and we want to send it to you. So they sent it. And it's stuck in customs in Anchorage, Alaska. In Anchorage, Alaska. Because that's my son. All mine. Homemade. And they need it needs a radiation declaration and the manufacturer's, information, blah, 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 because it's an FDA regulation. And I'm like, this thing has nothing to do with, still mine. It has nothing to do with food and or drugs. So why is the FDA involved in this?
Because you could be hiding drugs in it.
I could be making food with it. I don't know. Anyway, Merrick says, hello from Ottawa, Canada. Oh, I've always wanted to go to Ottawa. Howdy.
Canada.
Hiram says, oh yeah, again, the Cubs look so much like you and Mrs. Bear. They have the genetics. Thank God you guys are okay. Well, we have a few screws, though, says he may note. Andrew says, I need to replace my white Makita drill after 13 years. I own a bunch of Makita tools. I do not need a hammer drill. What drill should I look at to replace it? Well, if you already have Makita, well, after 13 years, I don't remember, at 13 years, it's probably not a lithium-ion system. I mean, Makita's a great system, but I mean, I don't know. Are you working with this every day? My recommendations right now for the high-end stuff is either Milwaukee or Makita, because they have really great, huge systems. Milwaukee does have better warranty on them. For prosumer value pro kind of stuff, I usually recommend the Lowe's Cobalt system. That's a fantastic system, a 5-year warranty on it. For entry-level stuff, Bauer or the Skill 12-volt system is great. You know what else? The Milwaukee Fuel 12-volt fuel system, or the 12-volt system in general, is a nice option. It's small, it's easy to use. Angelo says, starting a tool business is a good idea. Is starting a tool business a good idea? Well, there's a lot more to it than that. What kind of tool business are you going to start? If you're going to be starting a business importing tools and selling them on Amazon, good luck. But if you're going to start making American-made power tools at a reasonable price, you're going to be rich if you can make it work. Llama Llama says, child abuse support hotline 1-900 my chicken. I got him. He's mine now. Jason says, hey Bear, I got 6 of those COVID compliant video poker machines tables linked on the Facebook group page. Great mobile tables. Maybe everyone should join the Facebook group. COVID compliant video poker. What is your deal there, Schmiel? Back it up. Yeah, keep jostling my table. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh no, I do know what you're talking about. The stands. Oh my gosh, so in Vegas, they have these stands that video poker machines go into, and they'd taken them apart. It was just the stand. Somebody commented like, hey, those would make really great mobile tool tables. And I was like, oh my gosh, they would. I don't have any places. You can tell we're getting ready to, I got everything unboxed, and we got clothes out and stuff. We're getting ready to make the migration back up north. So things are a bit messy around here. I'm like, I don't have any place to put that stuff. That's awesome. Took my old brain a second to get there. Borscoped says, Borscoped, I like that. Thank you for that about Memorial Day. People forget the reason why we have this holiday. It means a lot to those who currently serve and who have served. I wish I could say that it's entirely, me being, altruistic about it or the correct, whatever. Any point is, I come from a family that has a lot of military members. I'm an Army brat myself. My brother is current military, so it's not far out of mind when it comes to our family. All right, let's keep going here. The Craftsman kit is awesome. Okay. Splat B in the house. How you doing? He says you can never have enough chicken when it comes off the grill.
Did you eat mine?
I didn't. It's too far away, but I would have if you left it closer.
I think you ate mine.
The sous vide barbecue for the win. I've always wanted to do sous vide, and you're too close. You gotta back up to like an inch because you're gonna hit it, and then I'm gonna have to hit you.
I'm not
live on TV. It's gonna happen.
I'm sorry.
Just a moment.
Stop!
Okay,
They saw.
He was attacking me. He was vicious.
What?
I had to defend myself. While he eats all my chicken. See, and some people think Dad can't cook. Oh shoot, Jesse's watching this. Oh, no excuse now. All right. Anyway, Steven says Indy cars run over 225 at Indy now.
I think F1 goes like faster.
Faster into the wall. That's what F1 does.
Yeah.
Dan says, where should I shop for a new 2-phase air compressor for best deal for a new business soon? Dream On Custom Auto also shopping for 2-phase air compressor, best deal for a shop. If you're on a budget, I would look at the Cobalt ones. If you're not on a budget, I can't remember the name of it. Starts with a C. They're blue and white, and somebody chime in. I forgot the name. A lot of their stuff is American made, but not all of it. I'm so bad with names. It's terrible.
Cobalt?
Oh no, not Cobalt. Oh, I'll think of it in a minute.
Craftsman?
All right, no. Stay tuned. It's. Looking for a deal on welders too. Well, welders. Dude, you
can hire one off of Fiverr.
Yeah, I no. I think he wants to buy a welder.
Well, they're the same thing.
Anyway, that didn't work. There we go.
Wow.
Tammy says, I have 3 to 4 bear got to go in my shed. Are you one of the 3 to 4 in my shed? No, would never do that. I have an alibi. Hiram says, racetracks. What about Sears Point, Watkins Glen, Skip Harbor? Sears Point, yeah, those are some nice tracks. The only thing worse is Death Valley. Death Valley. I've been through Death Valley a few times, and
Death Valley isn't that bad.
you're demented.
Neither
Anyway,
is Vegas. He's just overreacting.
this is the one who gets a stomachache every time it gets over 100 degrees, and he has to do stuff outside. Michael says had that argument with an upscale engineer. His way was the high expensive method. I told him I would make him an EMI RFI test chamber out of a steel trash can. If it works, right? Ed says, I thought today was supposed to be done by Mrs. DeBear, and you need to stay out of the sun. Are we on schedule? Yeah, I do need to stay out of the sun. And, yeah, Mrs. DeBear called me right after that and threatened my furry little life. I was teasing her. She hates it when I do that, which is why I do that. Steven says, pros should use what they like and are comfortable with. The brand shouldn't matter. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm brand agnostic. If you haven't noticed, we got tons of different tools. All sorts of people send me. So far I've been called a shill for 3 different companies today. One of them was for Craftsman. Somebody called me a Craftsman shill.
Didn't you just give a fail video?
I did, but he hadn't seen that video yet. He saw an older video. He goes, "You're just trying to push Craftsman." I'm like, okay. The Levick says, in 2019, I got the Rigid Gen 5 brushless impact wrench driver hammer drill 2 4 amp hour batteries for $200. Amazing, the items now have doubled. Inflation much. Yeah, there's no inflation. They told us that. Didn't you hear? Yeah, I used to have those tools. They're fantastic tools. And they used to be affordable. Where were we? How is the single dad life working for you? Well, it's much better now that he's actually here, because for, I think it was a week and a half, I was on my own. Just me and the dog. The dog's not much of a conversationalist.
What are you talking about?
Let go of my table.
Did.
You're screwing with the table. Don't play with the latch. The whole thing's going to fold up and we're all going to die. Anyway.
Wait, but physics can't let it fold up.
Oh, get it. Let me take that chicken. Glutton. You're making dinner tomorrow night. Oh wait, I have to eat it. So no, we're not. The Michael says radiation, as in a bright UV lamp, perhaps.
Nuclear radiation.
Linda says it's the government. They have to be into everything, and that's the problem. Yeah. I'm like, where in the Constitution did it say there was an FDA? I guess I missed that chapter. All right, we're not supposed to get into politics, and I don't have the missus here to yell at me. I'm sure she's yelling at me from afar.
Dad, no politics.
Fred Hill says, did you get my post? Apparently I didn't.
Are you ignoring people now?
I must be. Fred, I missed it. How did I miss it?
Do Control G and just look for his post.
Or maybe you posted on one of a comment on a video or something. I don't know. I must have missed it. I didn't see it. What's going on? And I can't find it if it was a previous post. The Chrome Dynamics says, hey, I'm looking at slide hammer puller sets. Should I get the Harbor Freight 9-way slide hammer set or the Orion? I think you should definitely get what somebody who knows a lot more about slide hammers will tell you to get. Let me fix the camera here. Please stop. Just please.
Just moving it over here.
There, see? Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, that's why it's called barely. Dad, it's abuse.
I don't use slide hammers, so I'm trying to think. I used to own one at one point, but I don't know where it is. Sorry, man. If somebody else can chime in and knows, then please do. Spectre Air says, any recommendations for a good paper punch toolkit such as Wheeler, Otis? I have Otis. I have a bunch of them. I'll be honest, I haven't really found one that I'm really super happy with. They're always just good enough. Maybe I should do more of a deep dive into it. You know, I buy different parts here and there. Like Tecton has a great punch set, and I use that. And I don't use the pole, the swab stuff anymore. Mainly I just use the barrel snakes and stuff. The Tammy says the Craftsman kit is awesome, and the Craftsman hammer drill and the impact. Oh, that's right, you bought them. The impact driver is built in the USA. You bought them. I remember you talking about them last time. Here's what I'm going to say: they're not built in the USA. There's a big asterisk on that. They're built in the USA using global components. And I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not trying to talk negatively about your tools, but I'm trying to be honest because I think that what Stanley Black & Decker does with this is very disingenuous. They push this whole thing of built in the USA, and there's a whole regulation about saying that, and that's why they have to put the thing with global components. It's not like a bunch of like raw material gets sent here and the thing actually gets built. I've seen the assembly line. I did a whole video on it. There's literally 9 people on that assembly line who build these tools. And of them, one person just takes it off the parts off an assembly line and puts it into a mold. And it goes to the next person. Then that person adds another part, another part, and another part. And then another person puts the clamshell on, screws it down. The next person puts the stickers on it. And the last person then takes it and puts it into the next assembly line. Their built is more like Lego assembled here in the U.S. It's not anything that anybody, if you said, hey, this tool's built in the U.S., it's not anything that anybody would imagine in their head as being built. And that's why I have an issue. It's not just Craftsman. Any company that does that, who pulls that same kind of gimmicky kind of stuff, I'm not a fan of it.
When's Father's Day?
You should know. You should have like written down and planned and everything. Michael says now you have to eliminate the witness.
Gotta eliminate 217 people.
Lachette, I was watching the channel Sous Vide everything. I do watch that, but I like his other one, Guga Foods. He's fantastic. Let's do it. I love Guga, man. That is, that's a good. And you know what? I've gotten better at grilling steaks watching him. He's fantastic. Dan B says, I hope there's a VersaStack sale for Father's Day. I can tell you, I'm really happy with the VersaStack system, especially considering the price. C. Adams says, Capri? No, not Capri. Campbell? No. See, now I'm probably completely wrong as to what it starts with.
Hot air.
Not Ingersoll Rand.
California Air?
No, I have a California Air. There's one right behind you, actually.
I know.
Oh, what is it? Hold on, please.
We're having technical difficulties.
Mental difficulties. I can't remember the stupid name of this thing. It's a Q. Quincy. That's what I was trying to think of. Sorry. C, Q. It was because Q can quick. See, that's in my head. Not entirely crazy. Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight actually used to make a really decent large air compressor. In fact, their 30-gallon one is 29 or whatever is actually really good, and a lot of small shops use it. Oh, let's see here. Blind tool man. Blind guy's in the house. Go sit in the corner. He can't type, so I'm typing for him. Oh yeah, this is Sir Ronnie B. Bacon. The Baconator. Alright. Let's see here. Tell them to buy a multi-process welder. That way you don't question yourself after purchasing it. There you go. Campbell Hosfeld. My understanding is they do make some good high-end stuff. Their consumer stuff has been kind of hit or miss. Tammy says, what brand is drill bit and driver bit, Craftsman or DeWalt? Well, I'm guessing you're asking which one's better. I don't know. I've never tried any of the Craftsman bits, so I can't. I've got a whole bunch of DeWalt stuff. Where is all my DeWalt bits?
I don't know.
Wait, I think I got a bunch of DeWalt stuff. It's not the best stuff in the world, but it works. I try to buy stuff when it's on sale. You just buy a bunch of decent name stuff, and when it like blowout sales around Christmas, and I just stock up on bits. This one we can't lose. And I know you'll wander off. Where are my keys for my car?
My desk.
Go get them, please. Because I'll be looking for them later.
Oh wait, they're not here. I don't know where they are. They're gone.
We'll light him on fire.
They're gone.
Light him on fire.
Gone.
Guess who? Guess who drove the Beamer today?
The Beamer Lemur.
Let's see here. The Wohawk says, "Chomp the like, folks. It's free and it's the real COVID vaccine with no side effects." I don't know. You might. Anyway, no inflation, horse droppings. No, the government told me, man. A guy came and went online on the TV and he said there was no inflation, so I believe him. Homily says, "Good evening. How you doing, Homily?" Wohawk says, "I'm sure Duncan can order you delivery for dinner tomorrow." I'm not so sure he could, even if he used my credit card. Tammy says, "I have 3 to 4 barrel." That's one we talked about. Michael says, "You missed it being distracted over food." That can happen. Levick says, "Smart Gen Z sitting next to you." Steven says, "Are you two going to survive the night?" One of us will.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Let's see here. Fun says, "Best high-end air compressor, Kessler screw compressors." I do know that screw compressors are the top tier of those compressors. I don't have any experience with them though, with Kessler, I mean. Tammy says, "Are you having a good day?" I'm with my boy. I'm always having a good day. Yeah, actually, we're having a pretty good day. What did we do today?
I have been gaming.
You've been gaming,
We went to the store.
We went to the store. We got dog food. You got to move the BMW. We did the video on you worked with me doing the video on the stack systems. Just hanging out. Being a Sunday. Let's see here.
You get it, Dad? Sunday?
James says, "Make my living with tools. Current setup. Milwaukee Packout Makita 18 volt. Milwaukee 12 volt. Tecton and Quinn sockets. US General Orange 5-drawer cart for the garage. And my DIY auto work." Dude, don't you know you're only allowed to buy one brand? How dare you do that? Good job. Levick says, Is it true that for $2,000 you can buy all Tecton hand tools? I think I saw a video on YouTube. Somebody said the same thing about Icon recently. I don't know. I would... Oh, man. I don't know. I should do a video on that. Maybe unless somebody already did it. What's that?
The FOV in your camera makes my arm look really long.
Let me see. Every time. Hand me that real quick. He knows better. Go ahead, take a drink. It'll be fine.
I don't have anything.
Nothing's going to happen to you. Anyway. Paul St. Marie. Paul's in the house. How you doing, Paul? Says greetings, Bear Clan. Don't hate the brand, hate the game. Kind of the way I feel. Oh, that feels so good. It fell.
Aw, how would it fall?
It's 100 degrees out. You're putting ice down my back. Do you think it bothers me? Oh my gosh. You usually have to pay somebody to stand there and cool you off.
Yeah, now you're going to be sitting in a puddle of water.
I would be anyway. Greetings, Bear Clan. Let's hear. Homer says, "Have you ever used the John Deere branded wrenches?" I'll be honest, I didn't know there was John Deere branded wrenches. I have a real conflict with John Deere. I love John Deere. I grew up in John Deere country. All right, nothing runs like a deer. You know,
Love does.
we've got the kids had like John Deere pajamas when we were growing up. We got John Deere hats. I love John Deere. I'm a John Deere fanboy. But they have turned into such a blankety blank company recently, trying to be like Apple, where you're not allowed to repair your own tractors and stuff. Just total BS the way they're doing this. Anyway, I'll check into the wrenches. I haven't seen them. Let's see here. Michael says, any opinion on Laguna joiners and bandsaws? So here's what I can tell you about Laguna. Laguna makes some really good stuff. It's not the best of the best. It is, how do you say it? I like Laguna. It is very much, it's like some of the better stuff from Grizzly. It's not the best of the best. It's not the super high end kind of stuff. It's not the same level as like a saw stop or a unisaw or something like that. But they're good. I know a lot of woodworkers who use them. I know some small pro shops who use them. I really like a lot of the stuff that they make. Fred says, just got home from my mother-in-law's house. She has terminal lung cancer. Hospice nurse told us she has 28 to 48 hours. She won't make it through the night. I've known this lady for 35 years. Oh my gosh. Is that the one I missed? I am so sorry. I don't know how I missed that. Is, Fred, I am so sorry for you and your wife and your family going through this. Anyway, we'll keep you in our thoughts and our prayers. Linda says, I have knife envy for his knife wall. Okay, I've lost the context on that. Anyway, let's see, where was I? Hiram says, I've always wanted to order clamshells, form e-replacement parts, and paint them my own color and put different custom decals on them. I have actually thought about doing that. In fact, now that I've got some 3D printers getting set up, I've actually tried to see if I could find some molds, or not molds, but some G-code to do it. Hyper Tough is at Walmart. Yes, they are. Brain fog. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Nobody puts Blind Tool Man in the corner. I just got a picture in my head, Wohawk, of you and Blind Tool Man doing the whole like lift on the dance floor thing. It was beautiful.
How does he know he's in the corner if he can't see?
That's kind of the joke. It's okay.
But how does he know that he's in the corner?
Harvard. It's not an option. Thoughts on the Ingersoll Rand power sockets? Ingersoll Rand power sockets. Is that their version on the Biter or whatever? Because I remember looking at those at hold on, I'm looking these up to make sure I'm looking at the right thing.
What the?
Apparently I'm not. This is something entirely different. I apparently haven't seen these. So increase your torque by using the centrifugal force, and basically you're turning them into a
Spinny boys.
yeah, a kinetic energy system. That's cool. I'll have to look into this. Oh, where did we go? Do you ever look at the Matco Hyperstep bits? Did you ever look at the Did you ever look at the Hyperstep bits from last week? No, I did not. I am sorry. Barbecue 76 in the house. I'm here. You're welcome. We're going to discuss some stuff later. I'm terrified. Paul St. Marie says, no, put the cub to work testing drill bits. That's a good idea.
What?
Put you to work.
I can't. I have to study for my math test.
Come on, baby, light my fire. I've been So his desk is set up right next to mine, so I can keep an eye on him.
And
I've been inundating him with 60s, 70s, a little bit of 80s music.
it's quite annoying.
And I caught him yesterday. He had a song stuck in his head. And of all things, it was Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar. I was really impressed by how many songs he actually knew.
You didn't play that one for me.
Yeah, he did.
No, you didn't. That was in Nobody.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, if you haven't seen Nobody, I know it's expensive to buy. But if you get the whole family, not the whole family. If you get all the adults together. But that's an incredible movie. Oh my gosh.
I know how to save someone's life if they blow their...
Yes, he now has learned how to do a tracheotomy. We'll have to watch the actual YouTube video so you actually know how to do a tracheotomy.
I already know how to do it.
No.
Just stick a straw in their neck.
No. I did watch a video on how to do a knee replacement. It's pretty cool. I could probably do it right on that knee.
No.
No? All right. Anyway, any resolution to the video you made about the carbide recip saw blades and traveling all over town? No. I never heard anything from Home Depot. Basically, what it came down to, and it's weird, a lot of people try to make the excuse of, oh, they get stolen. It was the funniest thing. Everyone wanted to come up with excuses, and I'm like, so that's why every single store in the Las Vegas Valley says they have them in stock and doesn't. They all got stolen. Now, that's a good look for you. One of the things that's interesting is I do know somebody professionally for work who does testing on blades and stuff like that, and they're saying that a lot of them they're not being consistent, and they may have pulled them. You would think they'd taken them out of stock, though. Anyway, I don't know. Fred Hill says, I think I'll be going with the Pit Boss. I don't blame you, man. It's a good-looking grill. That does remind me, though. I want to get those crosshatch. Which one's he going to get? That's what I'm curious to find out. I'm so looking forward to when I get back to Montana to start doing some real cooking. Daughter Ross sneaks in. I see you there. Michael says, screw compressors. I have a massive dislike of them. Got one of the first many years ago and it failed. Sprayed oil and water mixed into the system of a air system of a 50,000 square foot something or other. Steven says, did I hear you say you let Duncan drive?
No.
I didn't just let him drive. He drove my baby.
Zabima Lemur.
You understand where I grew up? We learned to drive at a young age. I had my permit at 14.
Can I get my permit when we go to
Yes,
Montana?
you can get your permit when we get up there.
Yay.
He could have gotten his permit at 14 and a half, but he was down here till just now. So we're gonna when we get back up there, we're gonna get his driving permit so he can start. The way I look at it is, the sooner you get on the road, the sooner you learn. You start getting those hours in, and you take it seriously. The better driver you're going to be for the rest of your life.
So I can run away from home.
Yes, far away. Mohawk says, okay, if the Cub can't order delivery, there'll be apps for that. I bet he can nuke you a Hot Pocket to stave off the hungry dad. He could, if we had Hot Pockets. We have a freezer full of food, and neither of us know what the heck any of it is.
The fridge is full of stuff that takes like 30 minutes to make at least.
Well, I made the chicken. I've been making stuff out of the fridge. The stuff in the freezer is it's all in Ziploc bags. None of it's marked.
It's
you look
frosted
at it,
over.
It's
So you can't
frosted.
see
Yeah,
it.
you're like, what is this stuff? The only person who knows is in Montana. Land Shark says, thank you to all veterans. God bless us all. Thank you for saying that. Top Load Telly says, explaining how expensive and complex mold making is would be an interesting topic along with the injection molding process, since most tools use one or both for these. Oh my gosh, I would find it interesting. I know how interesting it is. I'm guessing most people wouldn't. Maybe I will one day. Maybe I'll go into that. Because was one of the reasons I got into 3D printing is I'm a huge fan of the rapid prototyping and what has now become the rapid production process. Because you can prototype and build and iteratively change stuff so quickly But once you go into mass production, you got to go into that. You got to start making molds, and that's where the money really comes in. Dan says, looking to get a new Miller Multimatic 220. Pretty spendy, but probably worth it. Okay, here's the deal. If you're doing this as a business, hold on, I'm just making sure I don't lose my place. If you're doing this as a business, you shouldn't ever say the word probably. I have a business background, and I've run literally a multi-million-dollar business in Silicon Valley for 17 years. Somebody today said, you don't know anything about business. That's adorable.
I know everything.
I would not say that I know everything about business, but I know... Turn that off. Say yours or mine.
Dad, stop hitting the camera.
Okay.
Don't.
Start hitting the child. Remember, it takes a village to beat a child.
It just takes one bully.
You got to look at whether, you got what's called costing out. You have to look at how much work is this thing going to get out of it. How much is the average maintenance going to be? How much is it going to cost to purchase? How is the depreciation going to work? And how much am I going to make per product? And is it going to be just? You have to work all those numbers and figure out, because it's not. You don't just guess. At least not if you want to be successful, because the people who guess, they might be successful. I don't like to go into things guessing when business is on the line. Real tractors are red, not green. Go home, we'll hawk your truck. And Fred says, well, it could always go red. Okay. Really? Really, Fred? You too. Linda says, they don't make anything anymore. They wait for it, farm it out. The motors are made in India. I owned a Deere tractor, a ton of trouble. Unfortunately, that's what I've heard. John says, just bought Tecton every bit electronic repair kit, security bit. What do you think? I have it. I think they're fantastic. I have that exact setup. Guga's knife wall. Yes. Sorry, I've already moved on and thinking yes. Or how about his grill setup? Any of it. Michael says, check out Thingiverse website. So many pre-designed. Oh, in fact, I have stuff up on Thingiverse. Fred says, she has gone south so fast. My wife has been with her since Thursday. This has been really hard on her. And you know what? And I'm not trying to belittle what she's going through, but I also want to remember what you're going through, because as a spouse, watching somebody you care about, not just your mother-in-law, but your wife, suffer through that is so painful. I remember when my wife's father passed. It was very suddenly, and it was terrible for her. We had just like that day moved into a new house. We had the moving truck in the driveway full of all our furniture. We'd gone out this is the one in California, Newman, and we'd gone out for breakfast, had come back, and I get in the house and I get a phone call, and that's when we find out that early that morning he had passed, and watching her just, because she's not there, she's so many feelings. It was feeling that impotent in being able to do something to make it better is terrible. So it hurts everyone in the family, and I'm really sorry that you have to go through it, but unfortunately that's what life has dealt us all.
Oh well, I'll cryo freeze you before you die.
Cryo freeze me?
Mm-hmm.
Great, I'll be a popsicle. Do you know where I get all my dad jokes?
From the internet?
From my database. Oh. Have you heard anything about U.S. General end lockers coming back? I've answered this question a bajillion times. I even did a video on it. They're coming back. They're doing a version 2. They are stuck in transit like everything else is right now. Paul Zimmer says, aren't all of the turbo sockets at all made by the same OEM? I would not be surprised.
OEM?
Wohawk says, Sings, I had the time of my life. Never felt like this before. Yes, I swear. Major weakness in the chat. Hey, everyone. George says, so tell me everything you know about the 12-inch Bosch Glide miter saw. Dude, I did a whole video on that. On the zero clearance miter saw. So I'm not going to rehash it here, but you can go look at the best option for sliding miter saws. There you go.
I even just got $5.
Woohoo! All right, hold on. Let me scroll down here and see what we got here. Aaron E says, for the dad jokes. Thank you so much.
You weren't that far up. You were go down.
I know. I'm almost caught up here. It's a fantastic saw. It really is. In fact, we're going to start doing testing here. I've got it somewhere. I bought a because one of the major complaints that people say, and they always like to say, is, oh, the arm on it flexes too much. And I'm like, you clearly haven't used this thing. And so we're going to start testing every sliding miter saw. I'm trying to come up with a standard on a. Sad little bear. I'm trying to come up with a standard on how to test it. Once we get that figured out and ironed out, basically answer all the questions beforehand, we're going to start testing the deflection on all these sliding miter saws. Landshark says, I just got the Cobalt 3-drawer pegboard light and 5-outlet power protector for $300 at Lowe's with discount $375. It's nicer than I thought. A stainless steel. Oh, that is nice. That's a nice setup. Cobalt has got some nice stuff. And Paul says Louis Rossman is the guy who specializes in fixing Apple stuff in Manhattan. He made a few videos about. Yeah, he's big. I subscribe to Louis and have chatted with him. He's really big in the right to repair, as am I. In fact, I don't even understand why it's a question. I don't see how any of that could be legal. Dirk Johnson says, what do you think about the Craftsman 6-tool combo CMCK60D for $249 versus the current Ryobi combo? Well, let me look at it. CMCK 600D2.
There are children outside.
No, not children.
Yep, children.
The
How many batteries?
Craftsman 6 tool. So it's not brushless. $250. Personally, here, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of Stanley Black & Decker because I think, and that's all of them, because I think their batteries undercut any of the value you might get. I have the Craftsman brushed drill driver. I was way under impressed with it. I thought it was one of the worst ones I've ever used for the money. I would go with the Ryobi 6 days a week and twice on Sunday. I would get the Ryobi deals, especially considering all the other stuff you can stack on with it with Ryobi days right now. Neil F says, Usasus for $5. Thank you, Neil, so much. Thank you. And thank you, Dirk, also. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone chime in. Let me know what you think. Would you go with the Craftsman or the Ryobi? I would go with the Ryobi deal. I think it's got a bigger platform. They've stuck with their battery for a long time. For warranty work, you just bring it into Home Depot. For the Craftsman, you got to send it off to a Craftsman Black & Decker. There's a lot of them, but there's not as many as there are Home Depots. Aaron says clamshells might be tough to print the size you need. If you want some of my pegboard organization STL files, I can maybe email them. That would be cool. I'd love to see that kind of stuff. You can email me at red@denoftools.com. Fred says, funny, in Boulder last week, there was a black bear walking down Main Street. For everyone who wish us well, thank you. Somebody sent me something about a black bear the other day.
Where's Boulder?
Boulder, Colorado.
Nice.
William says, what do you think about the new Ryobi Power Ratchet? I think it looks... Are you talking about the extended length ones? I think it looks pretty interesting. You know, the big drawback with Ryobi is the fact that it's got that big L-shaped battery on the bottom, but they make the head pivot so you can flip it around the other way. Although, honestly, for most of the ratchets, I think a 12-volt system works better. Unless you're trying to get like an impact ratchet system going on there. And we got Chaka. Oh, Chaka, I will be shooting a video of me destroying a Ryobi tool and setting it on fire. Ryobi is trash. I can't wait for that video. Let me know when you post it. I will put a link up to it.
Ryobi is amazing.
We all think that Chaka secretly has this like dark love for Ryobi and can't come to grips with it. We're just teasing. We love you, Chaka. Aaron says, also cheap rubberish floor mats and laser diode on the 3D printer equal custom cut tool drawer inserts. Maker's Muse had a video on. I have seen people do that, actually. I've talked to people who do that. The surgical leather man puts up with autoclave sterilization. Really? That sounds cool. So I've got the EMT scissors from Leatherman. Those things are fantastic. I love those things.
I'm gonna cut my skin open.
Where would you go for a dado blade system? Harbor Freight has the Admiral. Home Depot and Lowe's don't stock them. I would probably go online and get like a Diablo system or something like that. I don't use a lot of dado stacks, to be honest. I used to back in the day. These days, if I want to run a dado, I just get out my router and a straight edge. I don't play around with it.
What time is it?
It is 5:57.
Okay.
Mike Adams says, howdy, y'all. Howdy, Mike. And Meryl says, are the Ryobi 40-volt lawn tools worth it, especially the pole hedge trimmer? Worth it's a hard argument because it depends on what you're doing with it, but I think most of the Ryobi outdoor stuff is pretty good. And the 40-volt is a good balance in power. I mean, if you're not taking down like the back 40 kind of stuff, it'll do anything your average good-sized lawn will take. Daughter Ross says, your auto insurance rates are about to double. Don't even tell me about it. Yeah, I know.
About a triple.
Yeah, and he's over here going, I want to buy a drift car. I'm like, I don't think so. Fred Hill says, I think it's the one with the 800 square inch cap. Hell, I was helping my uncle harvesting rice, I believe early teens. Oh my gosh. The Wohawk says, sounds like you should thaw a random Ziploc and then challenge to make a meal like that show Chopped. That would be pretty funny. But then I'd have to try and eat it. That's where it gets scary. Dirk says, what do you think of the current 6-tool cut? We talked about that. No, thank you.
There's 15 opportunities to get back.
I appreciate it, but I'm not...
I have to make friends.
I don't choose much. I don't chew gum much.
It's just I have to make friends.
Yes. Well, Huck says, back to tractors. Once you go red, you'll never go back. Yeah, that's what communists say, Mohawk, isn't it?
Well, actually, they did go back because they're Russia now.
Hand me my shusher.
I'd rather
I need
not.
to shush someone.
I don't even know where it is.
It's behind you.
Good.
The Steven says, I was about the same age Duncan is now when I started driving. Duncan driving is great, but also it's a huge responsibility that some don't take seriously enough.
What?
Yes, it is. And we will not be letting him run off on his own until we're sure that he is responsible.
Until 6 months, and then I can go off on my own.
No, you really can't.
The law says I can.
No, the law doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
The law says I can revoke your license anytime I want.
Don't revoke my license. That's not cool.
Not cool. Not chill, Dad. Not chill. The Mike says, I had my Bauer half-inch impact for a while now. It's pretty good, but I wonder if they might inflate the torque ratings. Oh, they do. Most companies do. Harbor Freight does it a little bit more than most. The Philly Fixed. Philly's in the house. Hey, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. And Michael says, cryo on thaw day. Do you know how hard it's going to be to get the taste of liquid nitrogen out of your taste buds? It's going to be harder to put my cells back together.
Who cares?
Dwayne Larson says, don't forget to put your flag up tomorrow. Usually my house is the only one on the block with a flag flying. Down here, that would be true. In Livingston, it's certainly not.
Uh,
The William says, I know what you're saying. We just went through that when we lost my dad back in February. It was really hard on my mom due to the fact that we couldn't visit him due to COVID. Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about how hard that would have been. Mike says the Bauer Impact is rated at 450 pounds of torque, but it struggles at times to break loose lug nuts that are torqued to 135. Your opinion? Well, just because something is torqued to 135, is it like you just torqued it to 135, or is like this thing's been in use because pressures and stuff change after the fact? I've had to take lug nuts off my because I have that impact. I've had to take lug nuts off of my truck, and they're torqued to it was like 110 or something. I don't remember exactly, and it didn't have a problem with it. There's always weird issues that go in, or other factors that come into play.
would you run away?
Where are you going?
Tutoring?
Do you now?
Half an hour.
Well, great. Then you can sit down. Oh, go on, run off. Abandon your father in this time of need.
Bye.
See, this is what happens around here.
Goodbye, stream. Goodbye, people of the interwebs.
See, look at him.
Bye.
Look at him go. The $12 says, your thoughts on a good home defense paper punch, especially I want to practice with it often. All right, well, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. But I've done, first of all, I'm certified in home defense. I'm not joking. I'm at NRA. And I'm instructor level. Like, I didn't just take a class. I'm a trained instructor on this, and I've done a lot of research and work into this. And I'm going to say something in a 45 ACP that is not a 1911. Something that's going to be Glock-like. Like, I'm a fan of FN. I've had the Springfields, any of the polymer, decent capacity kind of stuff. Reason for 45 is a fat, slow-moving pig, and it is one of the least likely rounds to go through lots of walls. 9 is like a hot, slick laser beam. It doesn't impact a lot of power because it just goes through everything. And a shotgun will honestly, at the ranges in a house, will do the same thing. It'll go right through a whole bunch of walls. I watched a lot of studies on this, and 45 consistently is the one that likes to give up its power the quickest. It's a subsonic. Also, I recommend highly that next to your nightstand you keep a pair of electronic ear pro. Those are the kind that turn off the second they hear a loud sound. The other thing is you can crank up the sound really high on it, so you can actually hear better. Oh, it's a Labradog. Hi, Labradog. Hi. Oh my gosh. Hi. I'm happy to see you. We're very. That's no. Okay, down. We're down. I don't need a bath. Thank you. Go on, run along. Go inside.
Come on, Bella.
Thank you for ambushing me with the dog.
You're welcome.
Anyway, there's all sorts of issues when it comes to choosing any option. I know people like to say, the pump thing, and they're like, just the sound of the pump. All you're doing is playing your hand if you rack something first and you don't use it. Probably more than I want to get into on this live stream because we'll probably get flagged now. But I have to say, 45 semi-auto is where I would go. Anyone have the DeWalt DCD 100B leaf blower? I do not, but maybe somebody else does. Let's see here. Wohawk says Home Depot is 45 minutes to an hour away, so not a great option. And Shane Medeiros, did I say that right? Love your content. Keep up the good work. What are your thoughts on the Makita 4080 volt? I think for people who are doing commercial work and need that extra power, I think it's a great option. I think it's really cool to see them coming out with it. It's not something I need or probably would ever, even all the work I did in the trades. I don't think we never did, we did residential kind of stuff, and then when I got into running wire, yeah, we did commercial, but not that kind of demo where you needed a 40-volt system. I don't know. It's for people doing much higher end work, a lot of concrete, that kind of stuff. I just lost my place here. Hold on here. Michael says, was goofing about the Leatherman when you were talking about the aggressive life savings procedures like the tracheotomy. Not quite as bad as Harbor Freight's dental section. Levick says, drift card, Nissan 240 SX or old Datsun 280 for Duncan. Well, he wants a 300 or 350Z is what he wants. He does like the old Datsun 280s and the 240s. I really have negative feelings about the 240s. I don't know why. They were such a cheap, trashy car when I was his age. I think that's why I didn't like them. But oh my gosh, I do have to tell you about. Let me see if I pull it up. There's a YouTuber I just recently ran across that I've been watching, kind of binge watching some of his stuff. Just fantastic stuff here. Let me see if I can find it though real quick. Oh, that's not it. Super Fast Matt. You gotta watch this guy's channel. And I'm gonna put a link down below here. But he took an old Honda, and like the old Honda, and put a Honda CBR motorcycle engine in it, and it is super cool. Anyway, all right. Let's see here. Fred says, I saw a YouTube video about the Mars mission. NASA plans on using 3D printers to build buildings on Mars. It makes a ton of sense. It really does. I mean, 3D printers, because you can generate the raw material on Mars with a few chemicals and stuff, and then 3D print with the materials right there. Mike says, another tool I'd like your opinion on is the Bauer corded drywall screw gun. I've used B&D and DeWalt guns. How will the Bauer compare? I honestly have no idea, Mike. I am allergic to doing drywall work. Okay, that's not exactly true. I hate doing drywall. And I have never done it enough to where I needed a dedicated drywall screw gun. So I've never had one. And never used one. So I am not the person to ask. Sorry. In fact, I don't even have... Not enough people on the channel talk about it where I could even tell you what their opinions were. Trolling for Dollars says, I can't believe Jesse King didn't label the Ziploc bags in the freezers. Does she know you? Yeah, she just assumes I don't cook. And that I was going to order food out the entire time. Which I actually was pretty good. I've mostly cooked. Like, I went to the store and I bought like a whole bunch of ground beef. And one day I just sat in the backyard and grilled burgers. My plan with the chicken was actually to grill the chicken. I actually ended up skillet frying it. Because it's 100+ degrees today. And I wasn't going to stand out next to a hot grill doing that. Let's see here. Oh, come on here. Daniel says, is it cheaper to get wired tools, and if so, do they work as good or better? Yes, and mostly yes. I often recommend that people get corded tools for a lot of jobs. Sanders in particular. I mean, think about it. How many of you use a sander hooked up to a shop vac? Why not buy a corded sander then? Steven DeSwan's Duncan. I know he left us. Futon, hey Futon, Cam's in a good time. Wireless Paper Punchers, good evening. How you doing, my man? Grimmute's here as well. Wow, everyone's showing up. Non-expert says this work crap is getting a bit inconvenient. I got a stack of cedar and a new rigid cabinet saw. Needs my attention, but instead I'm off to work. Luckily, I only worked 2 nights this week. Man, I remember those days of going to work. Oh, let's see here. Sweet puppy, you don't know her. She's evil. Evil little dog. Makes me do all sorts of things for her. Linda says, I have I Love Labs owned 2 of them. I think she owns me. Michael says, wish someone would invent a 20-pound personal-sized Labrador. That's a terrible, terrible thought. And she used to be. That didn't last long. Scorpion says, I have 3 45s and 1 9mm. You know, it's funny, I say all this because I do not currently own a 45. I also live in a house where the walls are made out of stone. So, the Paul Simery says 9x19 FMJ or hollow point. I would have thought the hollow points would not be that bad. The other option is number 4 buck. See Paul Harrell's video for test for that. I've seen Paul's video on it, and we can get into that. Probably need another video to get into the whole different buckshot level kind of thing. The hollow, yeah, even the hollow point. Now I'm not even talking about FMJ. The hollow point FMJ. Now I do have 9 FMJ that I carry for anti-bear stuff when I'm out in the woods in Montana. But because that you do want that over penetration, lots of it. Fred says that broomstick, I've heard it's like throwing a trash can. Stay away from a turbocharger for a teenager. Oh, yeah. He like, I want a turbo and I want NOS, and I'm like, nope, no, you don't. That's adorable. You want that. By the way, we're past the hour, so let's take a moment to stop and say that it's time for you, yes, you, to thank all of those who gave their all for this country, and to take a moment and just remember why it is that we have what liberties we have left. But to be honest, the people who made the commitment and followed through, and to say thank you to them and to their families for everything, and also then a second to say thank you for those who are currently in service and who are on the line doing the job each and every day. Thank you. Also, at this moment, it's time to say thank you to all of our mods. That's everyone with the cobalt blue wrench behind their name: Michael Chesney, Paul St. Marie, Fred Hill, Eka Belkin, so many others. What we ask at this time is they do a lot to help keep the chat going, keep it family friendly, remind me when I get off into the weeds, that kind of stuff. Most of them are creators in their own right, and what we'd appreciate is if you could run over there and go check out one of their channels. If you're a mod, now's a good time to post a link to your channel down below so people can find it easier. But we like to share the love here. We believe that a rising tide floats all boats, and I say this a lot. People I don't think they honestly believe me. I am all about the community. All right, I think we've built a great community here on the Den of Tools of people who are not, tool bros and worse, and people who actually generally are here for a good conversation and want to lift everybody up and help educate and inform and just be part of the community. And I would like to spread that around YouTube and have more of that, less of the YouTube drama stuff going on. So go and check out one of their channels, give them a thumbs up, maybe even consider subscribing. Also, a huge shout out, thank you to everyone who supports us with the super chats. Thank you so much for support. It's always astounding each and every week when you guys support us. And a huge, huge thank you to our members. That's everyone you see with the little bear behind their name: Paul St. Marie, Fred Hill, Scorpion Sunday, and a bunch of others. It's kind of like Patreon, but it's built into YouTube. There's a link down in the video details. You all are fantastic. Thank you so much for your support. All right, let's jump back into it here. Mars says, what would you get from the Ryby Days free tool sale? I can tell you exactly what I'd get, because I just did. I ordered the 2 battery packs, and I ordered 2 of the lights. And I realize you're probably like, yeah, that's not very exciting. Also understand, I just ordered separately the PVC toolkit, not PVC PEX toolkit, the cutter and the clamp. So we're going to be doing a whole PEX system down there, and the idea is we'll have the 2 tools for doing the work, and then I'm going to have the 2 lights set up because the lighting in our basement under our house is really poor. So this is going to allow us to light certain areas and use them as work lights down there. So we're going to use try to use a whole Ryobi system there for doing all the works and rerunning all the water lines using Ryobi power tools this summer. Yes, I have other tools out there, but we try to do these little things where we just use one line for this or one line for this and see how it works. Jan says top of the hour. Isn't that top of the morning? No, I know what you meant, and we just did it. 15 minutes behind, apparently, is what I am. Juan says, what do you think of the new Bauer sawhorses for $49? They look great. That's all I know so far. I haven't been down to take a look at or play with them. Wang Chung says, hey Jeff, I have an 8-inch Rikon benchtop joiner and I can properly join lumber over 3 to 4 feet. Is getting a large floor model the only way to fix my issue? Yeah. Getting a big, that's the whole point in joining is, I think is the ratio like 2 to 1 or something like that. It has to be longer than the bed of the joiner. So the only way you could do that is by getting a bigger joiner. You could try and fake it. There's mods you can do to run stuff through a table saw and do joining with a table saw. People do it. I've never seen it done with super long stock, but you could try it. Maybe a bandsaw. That'd be cool to see. I wonder if you could build a rig for a bandsaw to do joining with a bandsaw. I think there'd be too much flex. I'll have to look into it. Paul St. Marie says, corded tools also don't suffer from the battery lock-in. Yeah. Levick says 10mm is the way to go. Home and in bear country, 10mm 1911 or Glock. I love the 1911. I am a raging fanboy for our Lord of Ballistics. Hallowed be his name, Joseph Browning. That said, it's a battlefield sidearm, and that's exactly what it was designed for. And it feels so good in the hand. It really does. There's just everything about it is fantastic for what it's designed for. And 10mm. Here's the thing with 10mm. How fast are you back after the recoil? Because I used to have a 454 Casull that I had for bear country, and I realized that getting back on target was an hour and a half after each shot. Just boom, come back. There's something to be said for that low recoil, riding, and just keep delivering on target. Quantity has a quality all its own. Fred says, this is different. Please, if you think about it, go to Kentucky Ballistics and see his content. He's healing well. He should be back soon. Oh, yeah. I love these making money with his shirts, stick a thumb in it. We've been following all that. So Kentucky Ballistics is Griffin and the Little Ones, his favorite channel. And we watch a lot of his stuff. And I got to tell you, I think it's fantastic the way his father jumped in there and helped him save his life, how he saved his own life, the thoughts and prayers that got them through all of this, and somebody above looking out for him. That said, I also am very proud of the YouTube community coming through and supporting him. The way other creators jumped in to provide content for his channel to keep it going while he was recovering, that warms the soul right there. And anyway, it's just good stuff, and I wish we'd see that kind of stuff over on the tool side, but apparently we're not that friendly over here. Let's see here. Landshark says, I carry M&P 45 with aluminum frag rounds so it doesn't keep going. And anti-bear rounds. Who knew? I know, right? Fred says, also remember those veterans that are living and are having problems, PTSD, etc. It's why we got rid of ringing the bell every time we had a super chat and stuff. It was a hard decision to make for the missus. She really likes doing that kind of stuff, but we have so many viewers who it's triggering for them. So that's why we do it. And yeah, you're totally right. Mohawk says, I heard my youngest active duty army is headed to Korea. Wow. I guess we still have troops over. Where don't we have troops? Philly says, can you shoot a video on the PEX tool? I have more plumbing to do. You know I will. You know I will. Daniel says, which brand of weird tools do you like and which would you recommend for the occasional home DIYer? Which brand of weird tools? I'm guessing you mean wired? Took me a second to go through my... I'll be honest, when it comes to wired stuff, I'm really agnostic and on because I just buy whatever's good at the time, and you can jump around because you don't have to stick with a brand. And there is no one brand that does all of them well. I have a Makita sander. I have two Harbor Freight sanders. I have two ancient Hilti drills. I have an ancient skill. A lot of my cord stuff is old. I've got so the 3 sanders. I've got the Hilti drills, the skill drill. I've got a Milwaukee Sawzall. What else do I have? I got a Tack Life recip. I've got a Bauer recip that's corded. Looking around trying to think. I've got several of the Chicago Electric multi-tools. Just because I would lose one and have to go out and buy another one. They do great. You know, I've worked with the Fine, and I was not impressed by them. I know some people love them; they swear by them, but I didn't rock my boat. And the one I was working with got super hot, man. You couldn't touch it. I'm trying to think. That's all I can think of right now. I'm sure I got more. Most of my corded stuff is up in Montana. Maybe I'll do a video when I get up there, and we'll go through everything. Regarding the Bauer Sawhorses, Cobalts are $34. Seems like a no-brainer. There's they look like clones, and they're probably even made by the same company. Everyone and their brother seems to sell a pair of those sawhorses. Let's see here. Echo says, I have not. You know what's funny, Echo, is I still have several thousand rounds of 45 ACP because I fully intend to get back into it. I just haven't gotten around to it. Non-expert says, I really like the Bauer Sawhorses. I will be buying another set. Currently is holding up concrete fire tabletop that needs sealed and polished. There you go. Manly says, I can't hit crap with the... I don't blame you, man. I hate the G word. They're just fine. I hate the design. The angle is off. The grip is blocky. I even tried some of the Polymer 90 stuff, and I thought maybe it'd feel different. It doesn't feel any different. And then on top of that, one of the kits I was sent that was clearly done wrong. Like they built it wrong. I contacted the manufacturer, and the manufacturer basically said, they said, well, here's what they did. They said, you have to assemble the whole thing and then send us pictures of it first. So then I assembled the whole thing. They said, well, now you used something that wasn't from a Gen 3, and so that voids your warranty. I will never buy anything from that. Oh, and then I went to the Polymer 80 group on Reddit and told my story, and they told me if I didn't take it down, they would ban me, and so they banned me from the Polymer 80 Reddit group. And there was another YouTuber who's really popular for doing the Polymer 80 builds who said that if I took down my post, he would get me in touch personally with the guys at Polymer 80, and they would fix it. Yeah. Anyway, I won't be doing anything with that company. Fred says, I got the ice, stick a finger in it. Nice. Zeph says, so short-barreled semi-auto belt-fed 338 Lapua is not your recommendation for home defense. Okay, are we talking about a mounted home defense thing, like something on a bedpost? Because if we're doing that, that's a whole nother discussion. Because even then, the 338, I mean, why not go 50, right? At that point, why not? Let's see here. The Michael says old tools, old standards during the Pleistocene. What was your cave wired for? Yeah, I know, right? Have you ever seen a bandsaw blade break? Oh, it scares them. Yeah, bunch of times. There, man, that'll make you jump right out of your shorts. When you're sitting there running. I worst was I had one running, and it was a rigid, and it was the one that came. I bought it used, and it was complete junk. And I had it running. I was trying to true up the wheels, and I had it running to see how the tracking was going and stuff. And I turned to grab some tools, and it broke behind me. Oh my gosh! I had like 3 heart attacks in a row. It was terrible. Frank says, sorry I'm late. Thought there was no show tonight. There was. I think last week I said I wasn't going to do one. But then a bunch of people said they were just hanging out, not really doing anything tonight. I thought, you know what? We're family. That's what you do with family. You hang out with family. Spend time with them. Terry says, you missing the super chats, LOL? Am I missing more of them? I did terrible of that last week. And the reason is I'm like trained to not see them because the missus reads them. So I skip past them as soon as they come up. I did. Denna Tools versus Roger Wakefield plumbing face-off. Wow. What else did I miss? Oh my gosh. I did. I did. I read right past them. I'm sorry, guys. I literally, because she normally handles it, I've trained myself to skip past them so I don't reread them because she goes ahead and reads them. I'm sorry. Terry says, hello all, how are you doing? Well, apparently I'm doing poorly. That's what happens when your partner isn't there. You just kind of miss things. And let's see here. What was the other one here? Dirk says, love your channel, brother. Can't believe I didn't find your channel earlier. I'm a painter, but you've given me an itch to get into other trades. Wow, man. A lot of people don't think painting is hard work. I had a buddy who ran a paint crew. Oh my gosh, that is a ton of work. And people, man, they complain about everything to the painters, man. Half the time it's like, it wasn't prepped right, man. It's not our fault. Oh, anyway. Zaf says, Denna Tools versus Roger Wakefield plumbing face-off. Let's see here. Oh, thank you so much for the super chats. I'm really sorry I missed them. All right, back to, hopefully I haven't missed anything else. Oh, let's see here. Grimia says, I need to put more of my plumbing jobs on YouTube. Kind of hard because this guy I'm doing for doesn't want us to take pictures of videos. Some jobs I have to do NDFs for sometimes. Well, what do you put on you've been posting a whole bunch to Instagram, haven't you? I think I've been seeing a whole bunch of your stuff there. Axecrafter says, did you get a chance to use the Cobalt 18-volt power tools? No, I never use those. Sorry. You know why? Because I heard how terrible they were back then. Manlist says, I'd like to get the FN Tactical once I get my welding going. I will be honest, I'm a huge fan of FN. The only company that I know, as far as the 3 paper punches that I've picked up and just feel good, the number one best feeling, I'm going to give it to the 1911. Because when you pick that up, it just feels like a workhorse tool that's there to do the job. As far as ergonomics, CZ, it is, pardon me for saying it, it's just sexy, all right? You pick that thing up and it's like, this was made to be held. And then coming in a close third behind those is going to be the FN stuff. And the FN, when you pick it up, is like the 1911 is like, this is a tool to go to war with. The FN feels like it's time to get dirty. Let's get this job done. It speaks to me. I'll be honest, having done a lot of range kind of stuff and whatnot, I will be honest, doing the self defense, the home defense drills, that's my go-to. That's where I shine. That's my favorite stuff to do. And that FN is a pleasure to do it with. John says, went to Lowe's today, finally saw they have Delta table saws back in stock after the images of the rigid knockoff surface. It's all, dude, it's all about what's on the boat and when it gets there. Some people were reporting that they've got 5 or 6 in stock at their local store. Other stores, like, I haven't seen them in months. The rigid version is going to show up in July, though. Traveler says, if you want home defense in Montana, why not go Barrett 50 BMG? It works great on grizzlies. Yeah, can you imagine the swing time on that? What bandsaw blades do you recommend? Lennox makes good ones. Grizzly. Wait, is it Grizzly? Why am I thinking of a Wolf? The Wolf is Lennox. So, let me make sure I'm not talking out my backside here. No, it wasn't Grizzly. See, I'm terrible with these names. I don't buy them that often. I don't have a full-size bandsaw right now. I'm running Lennox blades in my Portaband. Once I get my shop built, I'm finally going to get another full-size bandsaw. Oh, why do people do this to me? All right, let's see here. Da-da-da. One moment, please. Timberwolf. It was a wolf. See, I was getting confused. So Timberwolf is what I used to run on my Grizzly. That's where I was getting the Grizzly. But doesn't Lennox have a wolf in their logo also? Let me see here. John Chapman says, went to Lowe's today, finally. Oh, that's what I just read this one. Da 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 da. Wohawk says you require a wingman for super chats. I know, and he was pointing out before, wasn't he? And then he left, and now I'm lonely, all by myself. I feel so lonely, I could die. Sorry. All right. Hunting season in Montana starts when? Well, it depends on what you're hunting, but usually it's in the fall. Terry says, all's good, brother. Thank you, sir. I don't try to miss these things. I've got male pattern blindness, as the wife would say. Are you changing your P.O. box for Montana? I am. Yeah, if anything is getting shipped, we've got it listed. All the new videos show both P.O. boxes. So anything from now through the end of summer should go to Montana. They don't know about my Instagram. They found my YouTube a few months ago. Oh, should I not have said anything? They're probably not watching me. Traveler says, for me, 1911s and Berettas feel good and accurate. I like Beretta shotguns. I have a Beretta shotgun that I can't miss with that thing. It's a 20 gauge. Oh, it's a beautiful little gun. I love it. How about multi-tool blades? I'm not the best person to ask. I either go two ways. I either buy like a pack of super cheap, like you get like a 60 pack off of Amazon of cheap multi-blades. Because if you're just cutting wood or drywall or soft stuff like that, it doesn't really matter. You don't need a high-end one. If I'm going to cut something really serious, I used to buy like Bosch and stuff like that. I heard the new Diablo ones are pretty good, but I haven't tried them yet. I got some of the Harbor Freight ones, the Hercules. They seemed pretty good. They're pretty pricey, but so were the Bosch. trying to think what else I bought. Do I have any with me? I think I just have the cheap ones down here. Let's see here. I'd be PO'd if I live in a box too. Oh, that's going in the database of dad jokes. Yes, Linux has a wolf in the logo. See? I'm not as crazy as you all know that I am. All right. Anyway, Traveler X says, all kidding aside, in Montana, 1895 4570 lever action is good hiking defense tool for grizzlies. They had a 45 mag minimum for sidearm. Eastern U.S. 355 is sufficient. Okay, so I used to listen to that sort of stuff too. Here's the deal. I've read a lot of the encounter studies, the after action reports, if you will. And more people have survived with a 9mm than they have with anything else. And a 9mm running plus P with FMJ is hot knife through butter. And you know, everyone thinks you need these giant super heavy rounds and stuff, and it's just not true. And as I said, quantity has a quality on all its own, because you're looking at, think of it, it's a hydraulic system, and if you get the fluid out of the hydraulic system, it shuts down. And one big hole is nice, but a whole bunch of holes everywhere means that the whole system's going to go down, and that's why you're going to be better off with that. And that's why I got rid of my Casul. You could just respond much faster, and a long arm kind of thing is you're gonna have. I mean, if you're hunting, sure, for the accuracy, but usually in this case, you're in a quick reaction, self-defense kind of thing. I've got a lever action 308 that I take for mule deer and whitetail, and I love it to death. It's a Henry, that's my little baby there, and but I wouldn't want to use it for self-defense. Emmer Mir says, I've had amazing luck with the Milwaukee tool blades. And then Matthew says, speaking of 45, I had an accidental discharge. Oh my gosh. It went through the wall and lodged in the bookcase in the room on the other side of the wall. Very lucky day. Lesson learned. Woo! And Boris Cup says, any word of the discontinuation and possible relaunch of the Ryobi Vac Attack leaf mulcher? No, I have not heard anything about that. I don't have a lot of any sources at Ryobi like I do with a lot of other companies. Maybe we will be able to build some of those up, but sorry, I read the next comment. It's the best bear defense is a slow friend in a 22 LR. That's not right. Oh my gosh. Ed C says, when you have a 750-pound bear charging you, it don't matter how many shots you hit, it's going to take time to stop. Well, that's the whole point of the the hydraulic system, is you got to depressurize that thing. Andrew says, agree to disagree. 45, when it makes contact, removes binges, blah, 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 anywhere in the, or terminates if anywhere in the torso. Andrew, here's the deal. You can disagree. Understand you're disagreeing with somebody who is an actual firearms instructor, certified by the NRA in multiple fields, and has been studying this for, not only just been hunting and shooting, but has been studying this for well over a decade, taught thousands of people, worked with law enforcement, been trained by military, and I've read all the medical reports on this stuff. I love the 45, but it's not a magic. There's nothing magical about it. All right, it all comes down to what you hit, and 45 does not remove appendages unless it happens to hit you in the finger. Uh, Amanda says, I shoot a 45 more accurately than a 9mm generally. Then fine, use what you like. Use what works for you. Fred says, does that also count for like Yukon or Brown? So this was the studies that I read were in reports on Brown. Brown includes Yukon and Grizzly. Those are subcategories under the brown bear. As well as what's the other one? Kodiak. So grizzlies are just a subcategory under brown that aren't coastal. They're up high in the don't live off of salmon and stuff like that. Actually, black bears on average are more aggressive. There's no one's exactly sure why. There's a lot of ideas that are put around, like saying, well, maybe because humans are more their size, so they feel more threatened. I don't know, but typically speaking, you are more risk with a black bear than you are with a brown bear. And this is not me just saying it or just going based off of what I've heard from a few people or so and so. This is me who's done the actual research on all of this stuff. Halon, $20. Hey, you bears! So let the Mrs. Bear know that my ferret business, name of a group of ferrets, really, is it really? Is now up to 6. Oh my gosh, dude, you've lost your mind. Hope you are all doing well. So here are some ferret smeckles. The business voted on it and they won. Thank you, sir. You and your ferrets. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Fred says all a 22 is going to do with the bear is piss him off. I don't think it's for the bear. I think it's for the knee of your slow friend. Grivian says, how close to Yellowstone are you guys? Going in July. I think we can get there in about 47 minutes is the time it takes to actually like cross into the park. We're at the other end of Paradise Valley, where if you're going through the state, you get off the highway, going through the North Gate. You know, the iconic Roosevelt Gate? That's... you go right through Livingston getting there. And call us, man. We'll be happy to meet up. We'll buy you lunch. We'll have a good time. Traveler X says, I saw the same study. I think the only ones that failed was 357 Magnum. You basically want to go with the biggest defense tool that you can aim accurately. Yeah, but the thing is, you're going to need more than one, man. You're not going to stop a bear with one shot unless it's a really big gun or really lucky shot. Axecrafter says, Hart made a new folding work table. I got it and it's great. Are you going to make a video on it? I didn't know they made a new folding table. Is this different than the Keter one that we've been talking about? I gotta find this. So I'm on Walmart looking at work tables. See if I can sort by brand. And there's no search for Hart. Man, if you got a link to it, email it to me because I want to see this. Because the only one I know about is that Keter-esque folding table, which is great. I got one sitting right there. I'll have to see if we can find it. The chatbot super chat. I missed a super chat. Where? Oh, thank you, Lena. I get it. You're doing that for what's his name's? Did I miss it? Well, okay, hold on. Hey, for Halon Wolves. Okay. Let's see here. The ferrets. Tyler says the bigger coastal brown bears are less aggressive than inland bears since they have more food supplies and less need to fight. Yeah, they get all that tasty fish. That just makes them big and fat. Robert says the brisket is on the pellet smoker. Now I can go to bed And in the morning, I will have a brisket ready to pull off and let it sit in a cooler. No tending the fire all night. That's nice. I'll be honest, that's the one go-to that everyone does is a nice big smoked brisket. I don't like brisket. I don't. I'm planning to do some burnt ends. Those I like. But I'm going to probably be the summer doing everything but brisket. I've just never had a brisket that I was super fond of. Michael Miller says, "You're awesome. Electric fence, any experience?" Well, when I was younger, it wasn't a good one. But I know not to pee on one. How about that? I've never installed or bought one, so no real experience on that regards. Halen says, "Yeah, I'm so stoked. The 2 nearest ferrets are babies less than 3 months old. Oh, I bet they're adorable." Travel X says, "Yes, accuracy and repeatability is the key. The ammo needs to be hard, not JHP." Wings and Pizza says, "You ever have any multi-tool companies, Leatherman, Gerber, etc., reach out about reviewing their tools?" I did actually have Leatherman reach out to me and ask me if I would be interested, and then they disappeared. I don't know what because I carry a Leatherman all the time. I love Leatherman. I've got the family gave me for Father's Day one year one of the top of the line really nice ones, but it means so much to me I don't carry it anywhere. I keep it in like the top drawer of my sock drawer. And then I've got I used to carry like your standard Leatherman and all this stuff, and I found they're heavy, and I don't end up using most of the stuff that's on there. And then I found the Skeletool, and the Skeletool is fantastic. It's lightweight. It's got a good like a real knife blade on it, and it's got all the other little tools that I use 90% of the time. It's got the Phillips, it's got the flathead, it's got the pliers, it's got the wire snips, it's got a bottle opener, needle nose. What more do you need? Let's see here. Fred says, "I swear I never laughed so hard when I saw on YouTube where the guy shot the bull moose and it was dead, thought it was dead, and it started charging him, and his buddy had to shoot it." And that guy is a professional hunter who did that. Let that sink in. Let's see here. Linda says, "Our black bears are aggressively robbing bird feeders, left out cat food, etc." Somebody should come and do something, because at that point they're becoming a pest animal. I'm sorry, but they need to get moved or dealt with in other ways. Yes, I know. I'm just trying to keep the black bear down because I support brown bears. The Amelie says, "I nabbed the 225-piece mechanics tool set at Harbor Freight today for $100. Thanks for pointing out that in their details." No worries. Michael says, "I've been looking for a Rossi lever action 454 Casull for years. No longer manufactured. Anyone want to sell?" Good luck with that one. I've been looking for something like in a 357 because I want to get back into wheel guns. And I said the G word. Nail guns. I meant nail guns. And so I've been thinking about getting that. I really like the whatchamacallit, my 308 lever action. The thing is just brilliant, but a little pricey to shoot, just for fun. Try Atlanta style brisket. It's killer. I'll have to look into it. Still sounds like a brisket. In New Hampshire, black bears are a problem. People feed them donuts, etc. They lost their fear of human. Yes. Pulled pork. Fred, pulled pork, that is my wheelhouse. I make a mean pulled pork. In fact, what I like to do is, if I'm really taking the time, is I'll do a pulled pork. And then after you get it pulled, you put it you pull it all out, spread it out on a tray, put it in the oven, put it on a broiler, and you just crisp the edges real quick to give it this really nice charred texture. That's fantastic. And then I'll make that. I'll make a whole bunch of it, and then I'll break it up into Ziploc baggies and freeze it so you can just pull it out and nuke it. And then the idea is then I can take it out and I don't put any sauce or anything in it because that way I can take it out and I can use it. I'll put it in and put it with a barbecue sauce to make pulled pork sandwiches, or I'll take it out and I'll put it into tacos with taco seasoning and stuff to make a nice taco or a burrito or something. You can use it for all sorts of stuff. It's great. I will be doing that this summer. You need to go to Dallas for some real brisket. You seem to think that I haven't been to Texas. There's only 4 states I haven't been to, and no, it's not 4. Is it 5? I haven't been to Mississippi. I haven't been to Louisiana. I haven't been to Alabama, Texas, or Hawaii. No, Texas. Why you got me saying Texas? Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alaska, and Hawaii. Those are the only 5 states I haven't been to. The Halon says, so been benched on starting the channel because of dropped signal. Finally got a tech out here, and he said he was amazed that I was ever able to do Netflix with the drop rates. There's a good tech, don't they? But, yeah, I get it. My line after 2 months was 50 to 30% packet loss. Oh my gosh. Well, that would explain why you were having those problems, like you were trying to do the live streams and stuff. Fred says the knife I love is a Dematic knife. Okay, I don't know what that means. Dematic. Let's take a look at that. It's pretty sure I mean domestic. Do you mean Damascus? Because I love Damascus steel. I don't see anything for Dematic. Good Damascus is hard to make, man. Halo says, hey, I know you talk about Pit Boss Grills. Reminds me which one you have. I saw a Pellet Boss smoker at Walmart for $260. I've got the Sportsman's combo. So the Sportsman's it looks shiny and stuff, and it's got some of the nice features, but it doesn't have the high end stuff. And mine is the combo, which means it's smoker on one side, party in the back, and gas grill on the other side. Because there's sometimes I don't want to wait 30 minutes to cook a hot dog or something like that. It's that's why we got that combo. Andrew says brown bear lives matter. Yes, brother. Traveler says poor black bears always taking a back seat to the polar bears. You know what, man? It's just the polar bears trying to keep the black bears down. Ask Blue, he knows all about it. Sears used to make a good electric fence. Thanks, Fast Eddie. Yeah, no doubt, right? Let's see here. Make sure I didn't skip any. Anyway, so Halen says I'm thinking about snagging it. At $260, man, for a decent pellet grill, it's hard not to. I gotta tell you, I had heard for years and years like, oh, you have to try pellet smokers and blah blah blah. And the Pit Boss reached out to me, and I'm like, dude, ever since the first time I used it, I'm like, this is awesome. And then you get people that's like, oh, you can't get a bark on pellet grills. I'm like, oh, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. And the nice thing with the Pit Boss is it's got that sear plate. So like when I'm doing steaks, I can get a good sear. I can do the reverse sear. That's awesome. Traveler says, I love that double cooked pork on tacos. Crunchy pulled pork is the bomb. Exactly, man. Fred says, I hate someone to put vinegar on pulled pork. That South Carolina thing, the vinegar style, I cannot do that. I can't. Scorpion Sunday says, good night, Jeff. No work tomorrow, but I'm dead tired. I usually in bed by this time. Cheers. I understand, brother, man. It's like that. Once your schedule gets set, it's set. And Fred Hill says, yes. What part of Kentucky did you go to? Connor, I lived in Kentucky. Northern Kentucky, around the Cincinnati area. I went to high school in Cincinnati and college. UC Bearcats. Go Bearcats. Used to live in Northern Kentucky as well. All around in there. Got messed up with all sorts of stuff. Let's see here. Dometic makes some good toilets for RVs. There you go. What cheap planer would you recommend for a home gamer with a small CNC, blah, blah, blah? The Win. W-E-N. Yep. Just don't even think about it. Let's see here. Any to avoid. The ones that are stupidly expensive, like all the brand names, the DeWalt. The big fat DeWalt that's like, I can't remember the model, but it's like $500-$600. It's a fantastic planer. And if it's in your budget, do that. If it's not, get the win. Anything else in between is just throwing your money away. I won't say they're bad. I'm just saying you're not getting anything better. You're not by spending the extra money, you're not getting anything better. And lots of people will back me up on it. Lots of people have gotten those wins, and they love them. Traveler says you need to go feral hog harvesting in Texas or Florida. There's some channels on YouTube, and that fresh pork looks delicious. Are you helping farmers eliminate? And you're helping farmers. I would love to go hog hunting. I've never had a chance to really get into it. The problem is the bigger hogs are not all that. We can make sausages out of them, maybe. I thought the polar bears were unemployed. Yeah, Coke stopped using them. Fred says, I won't never camp in bear country without a broomstick. No, you don't. That's the thing about Montana. People talk about, this day and this day. I'm like, you can't sleep outdoors in Montana without worrying about being a snack. So, 80 mixed with pellet, feeding the pellet grill. Really liven up the party. What's the advantage of a pellet grill? The advantage of a pellet grill is that you can control your heat to a higher level than you can with almost any other grill. You can work at it. There's a lot of things you can do, a lot of hacks are out there. Pellet grill has a computerized system with a temperature sensor that auto feeds the pellets and stops feeding the pellets, can even back feed the pellets to get you the amount of heat and smoke that you need, and can control it for long periods of time. And on top of it, the higher end ones connect to a Bluetooth, so you can sit on your couch and check your cook and go, okay, here's the temperature I'm at, blah blah blah. Like when you're making something, you want to hit that internal temp, especially like with steaks. With a steak, I throw it on the pellet grill, I set it and forget it, and then I just wait until it hits that internal temp. And as soon as it hits that temp, I pull it off the grill, I switch over to the flame pot, turn it up on high, let it sit, let that build up heat, and then we go back on for a reverse sear. Reverse sear means searing it after you've cooked it. And I won't go back to eating steaks any other way. I just won't. Let's see here. Chat's moving on. There aren't many good barbecue places here in Texas. Most are mediocre at best. Many cities here were in the top 10 were worst for barbecue. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm not a huge fan of Texas barbecue because I grew up, barbecue had sauce. All right. Kansas style barbecue, everywhere in the Midwest, everyone has sauce on stuff. That's the way barbecue is. And I know Kansas or Texas is all about the sauceless barbecue. And I was on another YouTube channel just giving the viewers some grief. I was mentioning that sauce is life. And they're like, well, Texas is the best. If you need sauce, then, the good meat doesn't need sauce. I'm like, sounds like somebody who doesn't know how to make a good sauce. It's just pulling their tails just for fun. But it's not my thing. I like a good, like, Casey style barbecue. And all the best, like, hole in the wall places I've had. Good thick sauce on it. Let's see here. The typed M8. I knew where you were going with that. Tyler says, I'm planning a trip to Florida to harvest feral hogs. If I don't get anything, I will sign up for a guided tour. I watched Brandon Herrera's thing where he was hunting alligators, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like much of a challenge. They're a log. They just float there. I mean, I love Brandon's channel. I'm subscribed to it. I watch all his stuff. That was kind of funny. Connor says, I live on a 185 acre farm in Nelson County. That must be nice, man. Oh, and I didn't even notice before. He's got the nothing runs like a deer logo there. Andrew says, West Kentucky here. I've been all over Kentucky. If you guys don't know, I'm also the best-selling author in the world on how to make moonshine. Want to guess where I learned that? Just ordered 30 Dometic toilets for a project Again, I can't talk about that one either. That's going to be one hell of an RV. Ayla says, for Christmas, I got my father the Rigid Tool Bundle with 22-inch Pro Travel case. He showed me that particular case is part of the modular packout system, and he loves it. They do have some good stuff, man. I don't have any problem with rigid tools. I think they push the LSA as it being more than it is. Linda says, you can smoke with it. I know about pellet stoves. Yeah, that's what most people do with it. Terry says, I mean, literally, they're pellet smokers. The whatchamacallit, the pellet boss, the pit boss, as far as I understand, is the only one that's got the sear plate, so you can open it up to the very pits of flaming Tartarus down there and actually sear the food. Terry says, good night, bears, and all. Stay safe. And Matthew says, getting rid of an old deck, would it make sense to plane the boards for reuse? Depends on the boards. It depends on what you do with them. Like, we did the same thing last summer, and the boards were they were so bad. No, they had to go. And I felt bad about it, but they did. Fred says, KC is the best. Joseph says, how long have those Swedish pliers from Harbor Freight been out? Are they good? They've been out a week, 2, and I have no idea. I've never used them. Halon says, best thing to do to a pork brisket, cover in honey before smoking. Yum. And Borscope says, Jeff, might be out of your bailiwick, but any suggestions on a good quality flagpole for installations with concrete, like a front yard? I live in a high wind area in North Dakota. Oh, man, up in North Dakota. I love North Dakota. It is so beautiful driving through there in the summer. No, I don't have any suggestions. All the flag stuff that I've mounted as an adult has been like your typical wall mount on the house. I've not done the whole yard kind of thing. Sorry. PT says you need to watch the vid channel where the hunt iguanas in Florida with air. I have seen those. I've seen that, and then also the nutria down in New Orleans. But yes, I have watched those. And there's another guy who hunts like rats and stuff. He's like a pest guy, and he goes around and just takes them out. Terry says made 28. Took 2x4 to a pawn shop. Nice. Traveler says, are there any good circular saw blade sharpeners? Harbor Freight has one with questionable reviews. I don't know about that. That's a good question. I should probably look into that. Fred says, what I've heard is the wild piglets and the sows, the boar's dirt. Kind of, yeah. That's the way it is. Feels bad, but yeah. And Ed says, I'm from NYC and Sauceless Barbecue sounds sacrilegious. Yeah. I would agree. I wouldn't admit that you're from New York City and talk barbecue, because some people might not take that right, but I totally agree with you. Dave Coons, and I'm just giving you a hard time, man. Dave Coons says, at the Den of Tools, have you heard of the Bug Assault? I have the Bug Assault. I do. I've never used it. Somebody gave it to me as a Father's Day gift, and I've never used it. Sorry. Let's see here. The Mink Man, he uses mink and dogs to hunt rats around Utah. I have seen, there's somebody I've seen who has minks he hunts with. Never saw a dog, so I don't know if it's the same person. Frank says, you can get temp control and a fan attachment for charcoal grills that will achieve the same results as a pellet grill. They think it will achieve the same results, but it won't. The Bug Assault is awesome. Give it a try. I should. Anyway, it's 7:04. That's the 2-hour mark. 5, 6, 7. I gotta go. I gotta go see if there's any food left, because I'm gonna go. If we don't see Duncan again, you're gonna understand, because he ate all my food. Anyway, oh my gosh, feeding farm gators with rats. Nathan says, hey, do you think any of the brands that tried 12 volt have since discontinued most of them? Rigid Mataba will ever try them again? I don't think Rigid and Ryobi can, because I think TTI thinks it's stepping on their toes. Anyway, I gotta go. You all take care. God bless. Thank you for everyone who served, who, as they say, all gave some and some gave all. Thank you. Anyway, you all take care and shine on.